How will Gohan deal with all the menaces that befall him without his favorite green daddy? Hey guys, MasakoX here. Now this what if initially was just discovering what might have happened if Goku married Bulma, but so many things have really happened because of this. This is a pretty significant change. We've proved that Goku and Bulma are indeed a good couple, and there's a lot can happen because of it. So we continue What If Week for December with the third part of this story. A union that most people would think is utterly impossible, but is actually pretty grounded. There's a lot of evidence in the original story that there was some potential for this to happen, but the ultimate result wasn't that. I really didn't expect this to go as long as it did when I made the first part of the story. In the last part, we found out a bit more about Kid Gohan in this one. Yeah, he is pretty strong, he has a lot more potential and he is much more inclined to fight, but he has inherited the original Trunks' stubbornness and selfishness, so he's not all perfect. He was not only able to hold his own against Raditz, he was actually the one to finish him off. As a result, Goku didn't die, and that meant they got to spend some time together in the other world with King Kai, thankfully keeping their bodies, so that means they don't have to worry about the Dragon Balls. Piccolo never got the chance to actually bond with Gohan, and so therefore is pretty much on the periphery of the group. He's just gonna carry on being a really nasty demon slug. He has been training though, and he will fight with the Z Fighters for the time being, albeit reluctantly. There is a greater threat to be had right now. In the other world, Goku and Gohan learnt the Kaioken, with Goku learning the Spirit Bomb as well. But Gohan isn't going to be using the Kaioken just yet, because remember, he's only 5 going on 6, so his body wouldn't be able to take it, but at least he knows it for now. Not only that, but the reason that Vegeta and Nappa arrived on Earth was quite different too. Vegeta and Nappa weren't aware that the Earth had Dragon Balls, so the only reason they came was to find out who offed Raditz and then take them on. You know, it's much more interesting than what they were doing. This will have major consequences for the future of the story, but for now, the gang have to deal with Vegeta and Nappa, so let's continue. True to form, Nappa and Vegeta plant the Cybermen, and then reveal the fact that Piccolo isn't a demon. He is an alien from the planet Namek, and Piccolo is taking this pretty hard. That's gotta be a big slice of humble pie for Mr. Pickle right there. The fight initially starts off the same as it does in the original, with Tenshinhan taking out his Cybermen, but alas, despite the fact that Yamcha has a much more prosperous life than he did before, it doesn't mean that Cyberman isn't going to give him a very destructive hug. He's taken out in a similar fashion to the original, and he still adopts the legendary pose. No, Yamcha! No what if is safe for you! Krillin lashes out as he does in the original story, and together with Piccolo, they finish off the remaining Cybermen. And this gets them on Nappa's bad side. Tenshinhan then takes the brunt of Nappa's onslaught, and he and Chaozu are then ultimately defeated, and they head off up to the other world. This just leaves Piccolo and Krillin to defend the Earth until Goku and Gohan arrive. Vegeta then realizes that this Goku that they were talking about is Kakarot, the brother of Raditz and the son of BORDON. A Saiyan, they might be able to talk some sense into him. So, for now, they'll wait for him to arrive, so that means they can find out what he's all about. At this time, Goku and Gohan arrive at the Otherworld checkout, and they actually talk to King Yemma to try and find a way so that means they can teleport back to Earth, but luckily, Kami's right there to do the deed. Korin's there too, about to give the pair of them some sensu beans, so that means they can recover after their couple of days of flying. Sadly, the 3 hours that Vegeta allowed for Goku and Gohan to arrive are up, and Nappa continues his rampage with Piccolo, fortunately getting the jump on him and sending Nappa flying into a cliff. Krillin then tells Piccolo to get out of here, so that means the Dragon Balls are safe. Vegeta then thinks, What are these Dragon Balls? What? But before he can inquire more about this revelation or whatever these are, Nappa returns and then just hits Piccolo square in the stomach, sending him reeling. Nappa is furious. He then finishes Piccolo off with a Bomber DX like in the original story, leaving Piccolo utterly mangled. So yeah, Piccolo is dead. That just means it's only Krillin left to actually face off against Nappa. Oh boy, how is he gonna deal with the break cannon? But luckily, he is not succumbed by this, because Goku and Gohan arrive to save the day! Vegeta is surprised to see that Kakarot has a child, and he then decides to see what their power levels are like. Thanks to the 10 times gravity training on King Kai's planet, Gohan is a lot stronger than he is in the original story. When scanned, their power levels are 5,000 and 2,000 respectively. Vegeta is very surprised by this, but before he can process all of it, Goku and Gohan power up, and we then get the whole "it's over 9,000" shtick. Gohan's power now is over 4,000, which puts him pretty close to Nappa, and that's something that Vegeta is like, what?
How is this kid as strong as Nappa almost? What?
Nappa doesn't care. He immediately goes after Gohan, and Gohan is able to hold his own against the big brute. Nappa still has the edge though, but this is the perfect decoy for Goku to get the jump on Nappa and totally dominate him. So Nappa's bested in a jiffy, and Nappa is ultimately dispatched by Vegeta, as is in the original story. As for the rest of the arc, the Goku-Vegeta fight carries on as it does in the original story, kind of continuing in the same vein until Gohan's pushed into a corner and Vegeta spots that he still has his tail. Which hasn't been removed yet, because remember, we didn't have Piccolo and Gohan bonding, so we never had the Ozaru moment, so when he goes Ozaru now, it's gonna be much more of a shocker. Gohan then indeed transforms into the giant ape and totally creams the weakened Vegeta. Even with Vegeta getting lucky and cutting Gohan's tail off, he is still crushed by the mighty shrinking monkey, with Goku just shouting, "Don't worry, we'll meet again and I'll beat you again."
Ah, that's right! I'll defeat you again! Oh god, it hurts to talk.
Meanwhile, the gang recuperate and take stock of the situation. Piccolo is dead and therefore Kami is dead. However, the gang remember the fact that Piccolo is indeed a Namekian, so that means Kami is too. That means he's an alien, so they might have a planet. They might have Dragon Balls because they have Dragon Balls. Krillin puts 2 and 2 together and comes up with Dragon Balls. Goku and Gohan are busy resting, but Gohan is in a much better state to be able to talk to King Kai telepathically. King Kai confirms that Namek is still there, but it's a very tough journey to get there. It's on the other end of the universe. It would take years for them to get there. And don't forget, there are still only 100 Namekians there. That's never changed. But dang it, the gang are still gonna try though. The preparation for going to Namek continues as per normal, with Bulma leading the charge. And the gang that goes to Namek initially is still the same, because Gohan is Bulma's son, so of course she's gonna be able to supervise him, and Krillin's gonna go there too because hey, it's Krillin. As in the original story, Goku will catch up with them later once he's been able to get a sensu beam from Korin. Back on Frieza Planet 79, Vegeta is recuperating from his fight with Goku, and Frieza is utterly furious at Vegeta's insubordination by actually breaking away from what he was expected to do. He's about to kill Vegeta, but then Vegeta, in an act of desperation, blabs about
Frieza! They're these Dragon Balls! They're magical and they could give you what you want and stuff like that.
Remember, Frieza went to Namek because he believed the original conversation that Vegeta and Nappa had about Dragon Balls in the original story, so that's the reason why they went to Namek in advance, but right here, there was never really the talk about Dragon Balls as much in depth as it was in the original anime, so yeah, they haven't gone yet. Here though, it kind of sounds like Vegeta's pleading for his life, so Frieza's not as inclined as he was before. Frieza then gives Vegeta a reprieve and allows Vegeta to go on a one-man mission to wherever he needs to go to find these Dragon Balls. But he has one condition for the Saiyan Prince. He has to keep the Scouter on and online at all times. If he removes the Scouter, or if he disables the communication, that means Frieza can't hear in, then Frieza will put a bounty on him, or even kill him on the spot. This puts Vegeta on the back foot, and he heads off to Namek because he assumes that Namekians make Dragon Balls to go and try and do what he needs to do to survive. You might be thinking, how does Vegeta know about all of this? Remember, Vegeta is a very smart cookie. He'd be pretty savvy about what Namekians are because he told Piccolo what Namekians are. Does Qui follow Vegeta to Namek? Well, yes he does, and Frieza tells him to remove his Scouter, so that means Vegeta can't pick him up, so that means he doesn't arouse suspicion. Keep the Scouter, but don't put it on. Gohan, Bulma, and Krillin then head off for Namek. There is no fake Namek. Moving on. When they get there, they are the first ones to arrive. Remember, there are no Frieza forces here yet. Unfortunately, not long after them, Vegeta arrives on the planet, desperately trying to find Dragon Balls for his own life's sake. However, this time Vegeta is a lot more paranoid because he is being constantly watched. He has to be very careful. He doesn't have the luxury of Frieza being distracted by the Dragon Balls, so that means he can go and do whatever he wants, like in the original. Gohan and Krillin then arrive in the village with the Elder Namekian Mori and Dende and Cargo. They make themselves known to the crowd and tell them about the plight and they desperately need to try and save their friend's life. Fortunately, Mori believes them because they look like they're pure of heart, and this is an innocent child talking, he can't be all that bad. And yeah, Krillin, the mighty space duck, he looks believable too. The Namekians can sense that the pair have good intentions, and therefore allow them to leave with the Dragon Ball. So yay, Dende's brother Cargo gets to live! for now. Mori then suggests that Dende goes along with Gohan and Krillin, so that means he can show them what Namek looks like. He knows the terrain, he knows where the Dragon Balls and the villages are. It'll make their journey a much more easier and swifter. Now remember the whole revelation that Vegeta can actually sense power levels somehow after the fight on Earth? Yeah. He knows that Qui's following him, so he decides to toy around with the alien minion. Back on Earth, Goku recovers from a sensu bean, heads over to Capsule Corporation, and then heads off to Namek because he feels like he should catch up with them because Vegeta's out there, who knows what he might do. It's probably best that he's there. After a while, Vegeta's gotten a little bored about letting Qui follow him around and decides to confront him there and then. He silently blasts Qui away in a fit of catharsism. However, this as indeed triggers Frieza's attention. He can actually hear Qui's garbled screams as well as the surge of power coming from Vegeta. Something's gone down on Namek or wherever this planet is, and Frieza's not happy. Frieza then decides to go to wherever Vegeta is and actually administer his punishment on him personally. Whilst Vegeta is toying around with Qui, the gang gather the rest of the Dragon Balls. When Vegeta gets to the village where he originally gathered the Dragon Ball, the village then tells him that they don't have it anymore, but unfortunately, he blasts them away in a fit of rage. The gang have 6 Dragon Balls and they have to head over to Grand Elder Guru to get the last one. Sensing their good nature and the fact that Dende's right there, so that means they can trust them, Guru gives them the last Dragon Ball, so that means they have all 7. He even offers to unlock Krillin and Gohan's potential as an act of goodwill. And Dende too, because why not? All 3 of them have their potential unlocked, making Gohan and Krillin much more powerful, and Dende having the ability to heal more. Outside, Nail watches over the gang as they begin to make their wish on the Dragon Ball, because Guru also gave them the password. The gang then summon Porunga and then make their wish. Piccolo can be heard from the other world insisting that he's brought back, so that means Kami can be brought back, and that means everything can go as planned. They're not quite sure about whether they trust Piccolo right now, but since Kami will be brought back and that means the Earth Dragon Balls will be back, they make the wish anyway. They also wish for Piccolo to come to Namek because having an extra pair of hands against the likes of Vegeta might not be such a bad idea. Piccolo arrives on Namek and Kami is revived back on Earth, and they together get on with finding the Earth Dragon Balls along with Mr. Popo. The third wish is about to be asked, but then Vegeta arrives, demanding to know what the hell is going on. He wants that last wish for himself, so that means he can become immortal and end Lord Frieza's tyranny, just to establish his own. But just then, he can sense something mighty approaching Namek. It's Frieza, and he's come for Vegeta. And that's where we will leave things for today. So far, we've seen that Gohan is a lot more useful when it comes to battles and actually making sure to get things done. As a result, the search for the Dragon Balls on Namek has been much easier because there have been so many less distractions. Frieza's decided to just skip the Ginyu Force, skip Zarbon and Dodoria, and just go after Vegeta directly. So yeah, Vegeta is pretty much running scared. So what do you guys think? Did you like this part? Do you think this part made things pretty fascinating or not? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, be sure to like and subscribe. Catch you later!